Hey, Jimmy with Cuff and Stuff. Well, it's a nice, cool fall morning. Halloween's almost here. So let's do something ghoulishly delicious. Tell you what, in South Carolina, when we do barbecue, a lot of times we'll do whole hog. In fact, South Carolina is famous for whole hog barbecue. But what do you do if you don't have 20, 30, 40 people coming over? What you gonna do with a whole pig? Well, here's something we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you you can do at home. You don't need 20 people. You can feed your family and get the same delicious pork that you would get off a whole hog, okay? So how are we gonna do it? We're gonna do a Franken pig. What's a Franken pig? We'll stick around, we'll show you. And hang tight. Okay, this is what we're starting with. This is a spare rib. Now the reason I'm using it, it's a little bigger than a baby back. It's not quite as thick, the meat's not quite as thick, but all I'm gonna do in putting this thing together is right about in the middle. I'm gonna take and just cut it in half. Right down there like that into two pieces. All right, I'm also using, these are 2 pieces of tenderloin that I have started cleaning up, taking the fat off, and all I want to do is just clean it up a little bit, make it pretty. And then next I've got a little piece of pork belly. I'm going to take this pork belly and I'm going to also cut it down the middle. Now I'm going to cut it lengthways so it's going to fit on our pig. And then I've got 2 thin cut, very thin cut. These are sirloin, or you could probably call them pork chops, but they're pretty lean, so I'm going to use them on top. So let's season this and let's start putting it together. Okay, so let's start seasoning this and putting it together. You see I've got 2 catering pans here. I'm going to take, and first I'm going to take my rib, and let's start. I'm going to use Uncle Steve's All-American SPG. I like the way this SPG has good grains of pepper. This is a good sized mesh of pepper. And on top of that, I'm going to add another one of my favorites. This is Texas Cajun. And we're going to go right over the top of it with the Texas Cajun. And I'm going fairly, these are decent sized pieces of meat. All right, let's turn him over. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, now in this pan you see I have taken 4 pieces of twine. I've laid 2 out this way and 2 out that way. And I'm going to set this right down in the middle. Just like that. All right, what's next? All right, let's do our tenderloins. All right. Pork belly, fat side up. All right. Now, let's do our pork sirloin. All right. Let's lay him right over the top like that. And then our last half of rib. Let's get him seasoned up good. All right, let's put this right on top. Okay, let's take from side to side. I want to go around this 3 times. 2, 3. Why do you do that? Well, watch. This is a little trick. See, when you pull it down, it helps it stay. And then just finish your knot. And there you go. Nothing to it. Cut these strings off. We'll go down here and get this one. 1, 2, 3. Let's pull him down tight. Finish the knot. Cut the strings off. Never claimed to be a butcher. That's why I always use that method. I know that's not exactly a butcher's knot, but look at that. That made a nice little package. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for just a few minutes. Let all of those flavors combine into that meat. And when we get the pit boss up to temperature, we'll bring you back. Okay, we've gotten our grill up to 250 is what we're going to be cooking on. Let's open it up. Close that off. You can see that's where most of our heat was. All right, so I know with this grill that this side toward the burner, toward the hopper over here, is a little warmer than this side over here. You see I've got a rack that I can take and handle this thing. I'm going to take a probe and I'm going to stick it right in through these tenderloins. I want it right in there. And let's see. Let's put the other one on this side. All right, so we're gonna close him up. One more thing I'm gonna add to this cook, and that is the bulk, really, of the meat. I'm gonna add a pork shoulder. Now, I could have butterflied this and put it in the center. It would have taken a lot longer to do this cook. I'm gonna cook this separately, just over here beside it. So I'm gonna put it in. Now, I wanna put this, I'm gonna put it, the heat's coming from the bottom, so I'm gonna put this fat side down, okay? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let me make sure I got wires out of the way. Remember I put this on a wire rack? All right, I'm gonna set this whole wire rack down in this pan. Let's take him, put him back in there. All right, come on, wires. All right, now, I'm gonna pick this whole pork butt up and I'm gonna put it in this smaller pan. That's why we go through so many pairs of gloves, I guess. All right. Wrap him up good and tight. Get him in this pan. There we go. Put this pan in here like that. That's sealed up good. All right. Close him back up. Okay. Well, we're just 2 hours from the last time I was with you instead of 3. And all of my probes are telling me that I'm 200 degrees or better. So it's time to check in on this and see what we've got. So let's open it up and let's see. I want to take and open the Franken Pig up. See what we got here. All right. Now, I'm gonna take my thermoprobe. Oh yeah, that's 200. That's 200. That's 200. All right. So let's take this foil off. We don't need the foil, at least not right now. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to start taking this spoon and let's start breaking into this pig. Let's start breaking him up. It's the way you would do a whole hog. Next, we're going to start mopping him. Now here in Carolina, most of us that do whole pigs or whole hogs use a vinegar pepper sauce. You see, I got a little mop. If I was doing a whole pig, I'd have a big mop. But let's start mopping him down good. All right. Now let's go over to this pork shoulder. See what we got with him. All right, let's check temp on him. Not only does he temp out, but it's like sticking this probe in butter. Let's do him the same way. Let's start breaking it up. I'm gonna take this spoon and open him up some. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the mop that I did with the Franken Pig. You see how much easier that is with this little mop. It just drains off of it. All right, I'm gonna hit this pig another lick. And let's see. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull these probes out. I'm gonna roll him over to this side. I'm gonna take the spoon and I'm gonna start breaking him up on this side too. You see, bones are already coming out. And that's the way you do a whole hog. You cook him until he's like that. Let's do this side too. Well, I gotta have some more of that. This pepper vinegar sauce, I made up last night. This is the rest of a whole quart. And this is going to really do the rest of it. This vinegar will break it down the rest of the way, which it about doesn't need it anyway. It's about broken down already. But that's like barbecue sauce. All right, we're gonna push this back up in here, close it up. I'm gonna let this go, another half an hour. And then it'll be time to take it off, let it start cooling down some. I'll pick the bones out of it and we'll shred it, pull it apart by hand. And when it's time for that, I'll bring you back. All right, we've let this Franken pig rest about half an hour. Let's open him up, see what we got. All right, now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna dump him off the rack here. All right, rib meat. The ribs just pull out. This is some belly, and it's just shredding. Tenderloins pulling apart. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull this completely apart. And all of these pieces parts. All right, that's belly. And you can see it's just disintegrating. That's what we want. That's what we were looking for. All right, there we go. The Franken pig is pulled. I don't see any more rib bones in here. Wait a minute, that might be a piece of one. That's a piece of pork chop bone. All right. Now, let's work on this. There you go. Shoulder bone. Gonna pull it apart. Shoulder bone came out just as clean. Okay. Well, this is the shoulder, the rib meat, the tenderloin, the pork belly, the pork sirloin, all mixed in here together. Look how juicy this is. I mean, this is as juicy as any whole hog I've ever cooked. And trust me, I've cooked a bunch in my time. We just pulled it apart here. All right, so the only thing we got left to do is make a sandwich out of it. And we're gonna try that. All right, that's a decent bite. Okay, so let's take some barbecue, about that much. A little bit of slaw on top, and then look at that. Let's try a bite. I'm going in. folks, that's whole hog barbecue. There is no way, with the different flavors, the different parts, if you want to make a pig picking just for your family, not for a crowd, this is the way to do it. Hey, all I can say is thanks for sticking around. If you haven't already, how about hit this circle and subscribe? Won't cost a dime. I'll put out a video right here just for you. Even if you don't subscribe, it'll be just for you. Until next time, hey, hang tight.